Alright, folk. Let me see. This time I'm gonna be replanting and cloning some of my mammalarias. And just for show, here's some I already cloned a while back. So, let me see. This one came from this guy. And this one right here, the really spiky pincushion mammalaria, came from this guy, one of my beginning videos where I did a method where I just kind of peeled off the babies and like pushed it down with a rock. Or actually pushed it down with a rock and then cut it with some scissors. But let's see if I can get this on camera. This is kind of how I see here. Kind of just come in here and I don't really like. Oh, that's easy. Just peel them off with the tongs and just put them right here. So this is like some old soil that I'm using that I mixed in a bunch of different things that I'm going to use. And here's Tank's cactus mix. This is actually really, really good for rooting out my cactus. Don't really like them for like house plants and stuff. It really doesn't really have any organic matter in here, so they're really, really good for rooting out cactus, staying dry. But let me see. Actually, I didn't know it was gonna be this easy with the tongs. Let me see. Am I good? Is that a good angle, guys? Should I? Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Actually peeled off pretty easy with tongs. Just kind of went in here. These are some barbecue tongs. Probably should be wearing gloves, but you know, there we go. Kind of rigorous a little bit, but actually this works really good compared to the one I did almost a year ago where I was using a rock and a knife. So with the knife, get a real sharp knife and kind of as you're trying to peel away, people use razor blades or whatnot. I just use a really sharp kitchen knife. You can kind of slice at the connection like that. And I plan on actually repotting the big guy in a low bowl saucer pot. So I'm gonna want to take all these off. Nothing to it but to do it, huh, guys? Alright. Alright, so let me see if the tongs work for the big guy as well as the small guys. Do I want to get it out of the pot first? I like the pot for stability and whatnot. And also getting it out of the pot means I might have to put on some gloves. But I guess here's a trick you guys can watch me get it out of the pot without gloves. Just kind of takes a steady hand and it's gonna make a mess. Oh, look, we got one coming down here. Put it on there. Alright. Cool. Alright. So, I don't know if you can see that. We come around. So what I would do here is, let me see, bend this outside. You can kind of use the weight to peel it off. Oh, knocked over one of the transplants I'm gonna do. Oh, and then the fuzzy guy. I forgot to point out the fuzzy guy. That was kind of random, but there you go. Mamalaria. Don't really know the all the botanical names just yet. Well, it's like I know them but forget them. Not good at plant ID. But see if you guys can kind of hopefully see any of that. Kind of just literally cutting away. Actually, I probably shouldn't cut away. I probably should have left it just like that and put it in a bigger pot. Actually looks pretty nice. Dang it. Well, it's artwork, so nothing's ever bad. It just gotta work with it, right? Should have worn some gloves. I'm gonna get some gloves. Alright, these are not really the best gloves, but they are what I have on hand. I might need to go back and get some more. Alright, so with gloves you can kind of just pull that off. But if you didn't have gloves, if you're a little timid, that's why I did the knife technique. Usually that's for like bigger thorns, cacti. Peel this off like that. Or if you just wanna get at a part where it gets a little stubborn, you know? Oh, there we go. Dun, 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 dun. Let me see, where did I cut it at? So that's why I like to peel it, because it kind of use a way to snap off on its own and you get minimum damage exposure to the inside. I don't really like to cut into it like that. See, that's me cutting into it from before. I'll go ahead and cut that off. These gloves are not really the best. Alright, so, and then don't really want to, I think I just cut off the root. That sucks. I don't know if that was on there, but there you guys go. Da, 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 da. So I'll put that right there. And we're gonna let this chill for a second. I wanna get to the main point of it all. So, boom, boom, boom. I got this tray of pots. So you can even use old dirt, doesn't matter. I like to throw in some bone meal. Blah, 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 blah. So first you start with the transplant. I like to let the plants dry out more. Boom, boom, boom. So I went from here. This is a Argentina giant. Let's put this aside. Let's get a real example. This is tanks tearing up that. So actually, well, pretty much same procedure, different cacti. I got it from the long guy right here. But let me see if I can show you guys. So, oh man, I didn't get any of that. Hopefully I got any of that on camera. So this is the root structure of a mamalaria that started from a cutting, and I dipped the bottom into rooting hormone, rooting powder. So I pretty much always do this. Pour some in a some I do with rooting hormone, some I don't. All of them work. I mean, not 100%. I'd say like 80%. Just because out here in Phoenix it's always dry, so I just bada bing. And actually, this is fit it in? Yep, it'll fit. Bada boom. Just put that in there. Kind of learn, I just bury them. Eventually, as you water them, it'll come off. And that's my whole point, actually. I really like to use tanks because it dries out, and I haven't really found out where I would be over watering them as like this. Look, it didn't even have any drainage holes. I put tanks all in here. Can you guys see all that? I put tanks all in here, and I pretty much cloned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is the only one that didn't shoot out roots. I need to get a better camera. So let's see, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is actually my favorite, but this one was a little struggle. 6. And that's all from in one bucket with the tanks. Rooting hormone, stuck it in there just to shotgun it. And then I also got these, just because I got my leftovers, and these rooted out way faster. Okay, Garth, we gotta take a little breather for a second, sorry. But let me go ahead and dethrone these. So I've got a few more. So all in all, what I'm saying is the tanks, I've been having a whole lot faster and more better, I guess better the word, more success rate with just tanks and the rooting hormone, and actually just periodically watering. I think like once a week. Obviously in the growing season, I haven't really tried to root anything out in the winter months. But let's go ahead and plant these babies up. So I dethrone these. So these is what I use for the cones. And I also use that bucket, so that's where I'll put in some more. Boom. The fuzzy guy is like my favorite. I threw a bunch of bone meal just to promote that growth. Not sure if I'm overdoing it. Never really had a problem with bone meal. Use at your own discretion. You kind of see what I'm working with. A lot of rocks, not really no organic matter, maybe some wood, but nothing mushy like peat. Boom. And obviously I'll be watering them less until the roots fill out on this. I learned from experience and obviously what people say, the pot really shouldn't be too much bigger than the cacti because people like to water, and more soil means the soil's going to stay wet longer, and cacti don't really like wet feet. So I'd say when you bump up cacti, don't bump them up too fast, kind of little by little. And that's why I love tanks, because it's really good for beginners, because tanks, cactus mix. Let me give you a handful. It's really good for beginners with the cactus because it's really hard to overwater because it's such a loose soil that doesn't stay wet. Now, It's not really the end all be all because it doesn't have any nutrients in it, seems like. So eventually you have to start feeding your plants. So it's just really good to get cacti rooted, a really good medium for like adeniums and succulents. But eventually, after all that watering and drying out and watering, after rinsing out all the nutrients that might be in the soil with all that watering. Sorry, I'm just kind of rambling, trying to push through this. Yada, 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 yada. So garden folk, had to free up some space in my phone, but like I said, I just wanted to show off another success story with those good roots right there. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright, let me put this in here and start floating before my camera shuts off again. Might be running out of soil over here, guys. Heat when I run out of soil. Put that in there. Put that in there. Ouch. And push it layers. Way more longer things. Just getting me. So, alright, shake it up. Slowly get a little pound, get it all stabilized in there. Roll it up. Alright, so back to what the whole other issue about the cloning. Star Wars Clone Wars, huh? Alright, so rooting powder, a little dirty, but rooting powder, boom, boom, boom. Feel that same thing as planting with roots. Get some dirt in there first. Boom, boom, boom. Put it in there. Bury it. Boom, boom, boom. Bada bing, bada boom, guys. And like I said, I like the tanks because I'm gonna just keep watering it. Like in a few days, the totem pole I'm not gonna water for a week because those guys are sensitive as hell. Those guys like hate water like agave. These can actually deal with a little bit of moisture more than the totem pole. So I'm gonna keep watering it. The tank stays so dry that it dries out. I mean, in the summertime, it's July. The tank dries out instantly. So boom. Let's see, get some soil gathered up. I actually gotta empty out some more tanks so you can see what the bag looks like. Pretty pricey, but it's worth it. That's why I kind of mix it grow well. But when it comes to rooting, I strictly only use tanks because it dries so fast. And I actually plant the cacti with, when I actually plant the cacti that have roots, I like to mix it in the grow well cactus mix. This grow well cactus mix has a little bit of more like dirt and stuff. This is just like cocoa mix, pumice. So boom, boom, boom. Let's get these cloned up real quick. Keep the paste rocking. Let's see. Alright. So that. Go a little bit in there. Bury it. Some people agree, they can hate me now. This has been working. I'll show you guys the results in a few weeks. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, keep it rocking, keep it rocking. If you don't want to buy the tanks and want to make your own tanks, get pumice, cocoa core, lava sand, cocoa coral I've ever seen. It looks like it don't even have wood chips. It just has cocoa core, like the strings, and then it also has cocoa core chips. And I know it sounds funny or weird, but that's what it looks like. So dip, boom, boom. Give it a good little. I know it's repetitive, but yo, I'm about to have a whole lot more cacti. With the rooted plants, that's when I throw in the blood or bone meal. With the non-rooted, I'm just trying to root them out. I tend to stay away from any kind of nutrients because I don't want any really decomposing activity going on, because I'm just trying to root it out, and that might be too intense. I don't consider rooting hormone a nutrient, so that's running out of little pots over here. These are a little bit big to be fitting in the cat. Alright. Put them inside. So these, the big guys. Same thing, but I'm gonna just actually pour the hormone on it. Around a little bit. Trust me, when I get this success, I'll show you guys. I'm not scared to uproot my stuff and show the roots. Let's get down to the roots. Doesn't matter. Sorry if I like the raven, but shoot, gotta provide myself some kind of motivation. Hot outside. Not as hot today because it rained yesterday. Did it rain today? I think it also rained a little bit today. So it's warm and humid, but not scalding hot. I probably should have chose a bigger pot, but honestly, the smaller the pot, the faster they dry out, and that's always served me well when it comes to cacti and succulents. I don't like to go too big because it takes longer to dry out, and they never like that. Just give it a good tap, boom, boom, boom. Get all that off the top. You don't really want all that off the top. I'm pretty rambunctious with it. Alright. Easy, easy. Alright. Let's put some tanks in there. I like the tanks because it has nothing in there that's gonna rock these cacti out. Alright, bada bing, bada boom. Add it to the collection. Alright. You're asking why didn't I shotgun them? Because I totally forgot. Actually, you know what? It wasn't meant to be because I'm use this. Let's see. To get this big guy rooted out. Probably put him in a 6-inch pot whenever he roots out. So wish me luck. Don't need it. I got the skills to pay the bills. Alright guys. Over and out, garden folk. Thanks for watching. Actually, consider this a PS, garden folk. I forgot the whole main reason I had the knife was because I actually want to cut this big guy down. He's been kind of toppling over and giving me trouble quite some time, but he's the one that's been giving me the most pups in my loom. But I was gonna put him in this terracotta pot, but it seems to be breaking. But actually, that might be good for rooting, dry out fast. All right, let's depot him. take the stick out. I'm pretty rough on my guys. It's been in there for years. I've been growing this guy. Root structure's not too deep. I could probably put him in a bigger pot. Been meaning to repot him for some time, so you guys get to witness. Actually, I did repot him, but I'm meaning to clone him and carry on. Let's see, show you guys what I mean. So, bada bing, bada boom. How am I gonna do this? All right, guys. This is really cloning something up. So I say get a sharp knife. Look at that, nice, healthy. All right. Gonna put it in the pot that I thought wasn't cracked. Is cracked. This is the root structure. I'm gonna put him in there. But let's do this first. Dun, dun, dun. Oh yeah. So rooting powder right on that bad boy. And I'm just gonna do straight up tanks because it's dry and it's gonna dry fast. I don't want to do anything that might have any pathogens or whatever. I actually really like this mamalaria. It's been around for a while. Alright, so that's exactly how you would clone something bigger. I'll let you guys know in the progress, but that's what I do, and I got good results from it. Root structure now, bada bing. Now this is where I would put the bone meal, because it already has roots. It's ready to just uptake some stuff. I might even feed this. Should have been a little deeper, I feel. This guy had always a tendency of toppling over. Or maybe just big rocks. Alright. Thanks guys for tuning in. Check you later. I'm gonna keep this in the shade actually because I got an exposed wound and I want that to dry up before it gets touched by the sun. So I'm gonna keep it in the shade for like a day or two. Over and out, garden folk.